Hi, I'm Margaret Seconded, and welcome to Feng Shui of Houses, part 2 of my practical applications of Feng Shui series. Feng Shui is about bringing harmony to the home and peace of mind to the family and occupants of the home. Classical Feng Shui generally focuses on how your house is receiving the qi energies from outside or from your external environment. The basic principles that applies to the feng shui of locations also applies to that of feng shui of houses. So if your house is aligned correctly to receive the qi energy, then everything else falls into place and you can have any decor or any color or interior design of your house and it wouldn't really make a very big difference. When applying feng shui, observe the external environment and measure or find out if the qi flow from the external to the internal environment of your property. Measure it and observe it. Now, there are various special techniques that a practitioner or a feng shui practitioner can actually use to tap into the qi of the environment. You can have the flying stars, or you can have the bat's eye, or other swan gong dakwa methods. And all of this, depending on the situation, are techniques focusing on the alignment of your house and how they receive the beneficial qi from the outside. Now, every house has its own unique qi map. So, you know, depending on the period or the time frame that it was built, every house will have a qi map that is uniquely its own. The main considerations here for feng shui of when you're looking at the feng shui of houses are the main door, the kitchen, and the bedroom. If these key factors are of the home is located correctly, then tapping into the right direction, and then your feng shui is pretty much done. Now, conversely, if these are actually not in the right locations and they're not correctly aligned, then there's really not a lot of interior designing or decoration that you could actually do or put that's gonna help or improve the feng shui of your home. So that's basically the general guideline, and let's find out and let's kind of review the principles that we were talking about in the feng shui of location, the first part one. So again, most of the principles that is applied in the search for a good location or site is also applicable to that of your home, of your trying to feng shui of your home. We are looking for balance, we are looking for smoothness and stability. In terms of shapes and sizes of lots and the houses, we are looking for regularity, as the irregularity of things or shapes will create unevenness of the flow of energy and therefore imbalance in the overall picture. So we try to avoid lots or houses that have irregular shape and sizes, and especially in the floor plans as well. And also houses that are not sited correctly on the plot. So these are some of the things that we have to be looking out for. So again, so what are some of the things to consider when we're choosing a good house or a house with good feng shui and a good floor layout, floor plan? So here are some of the things to consider when choosing a good floor plan. Remember that irregular outline and triangularity, like what you see here in this slide here. You can see that some of the most of the houses or the floor plan is shaped regularly. There's a little bit of extension, but it's not a lot. Most of the rooms are regularly shaped. So make sure that this are in place, because irregular outline and triangularly shaped rooms and apexes makes it difficult for the flow of qi to pass through the areas of the house. So and make sure that the levels within the building of the house is well defined, as circulation of energy will become unbalanced when the levels within the property is not well defined, as sometimes it can happen in split level houses. So arrangement of rooms also should not be too regular, as the irregular arrangement of the rooms turns good energy into bad ones. Likewise, hallways and corridors should not be too long and dark, as they also carry negative forces. Ceilings of our homes usually, ideally, should be flat as opposed to uneven ceiling or ceilings that have beams running across it, as this can restrict the flow of good energy and again create negative energy. So it should not also, the ceilings should also not be so high or excessively high, as they kind of thin out the nourishing or the positive energy in the room. Now the roof levels in the different section of the house also should not be too uneven, and the lighting, of course, in the house should be available, especially in highly used rooms. You don't want to be working in a room that's dimly lit, especially your office as well. So, what about doors? Doors of bedrooms, studies, and offices should also not face the stairway or another door, another door in the house, or especially the door that's exiting to the street, or like I said, or in other words, the main door. The staircase should not be in direct alignment facing the main door. Now, you have to consider the usage of each of these room, each of the area of the room, and how often they are used. So make sure that the high traffic areas in your home does have positive energy, or does have a positive feng shui. So let's go on to the three important factors in when you're looking at the feng shui of the house. So some of the basic feng shui rules that apply to both homeowners or investors also applies. They apply to both. There are some features that you do not want in a house, whether you are buying the house as an investment or whether you're buying the house as your own residence. These are features which anyone can actually easily spot. So avoiding them will save us a lot of headaches, as well as money, because you don't want to be wasting money on trying to remedy something that is bad, which the money could actually be used for something that was already good, and to something, or to improve on it as well. So make it even better. Now, feng shui, we would like to start at the positive point and improve it as we go or along it, rather than starting at the negative point and then spending more money just to try to get it up to good or even average. So, what are the not so great feng shui, that the features that you want to avoid? Well, let's look at some of the three important considerations or factors, and the features or the things that you have to look for when you're considering them. So, oops, okay, the main door. As you can see here, there's the main door of the house. The main door of a house is also known as the chi mouth of the property. It is through the main door that the chi from the outside energy flows in. So if the main door is not really great, or it sucks, then I don't think you need to go even further than that. You don't even need to waste time and energy looking at the rest of the house, because it cannot be that great. Okay? In feng shui, when we assess the main door, we can either use the formula-based way of assessing it, and which means the direction and of the main door and the forms based assessment of looking at it, and which means you're looking at what's around it too, affecting that's affecting the main door or the main entrance. So what are some of the signs of, let's say, a bad main door? So one of them would be when you're looking at from your main door to the outside, you see a lamppost or a tree or an electrical pole smack in the middle of the main door. Now, is that good? Forget it. It's not that great. So, like we were saying earlier, you don't need to waste your time looking at the rest of the house because effectively the chi that's coming into the main door is not that great or will be affected by how what forms or what's around the main door, where the main door is actually located. So tilted main doors also are definitely a no-no, as they also cause negative chi problem as well. And so those are some of the things that you want to look out for. Another one that you should also look out for is um, when you venture into to the house. Let's say the main door is fine, but when you venture into the house and you discover that the main door is located, let's say, below the toilet of the master bedroom or the toilet of any other bedroom or the toilet that's on the upper floor. Now, this is again not ideal and not conducive to the chi flow of the house, and should be really avoided. This is also a no-no for toilet above the kitchen for obvious and, of course, practical reasons that you do not want to have your kitchen situated or located just above a toilet. Okay, so what else do you want to look for or you have to be aware of? Beams. So as we were saying earlier, you don't want any of these structures, so you want to avoid houses that has beams running across the main door, both inside and outside. If you happen to see, like in this slide here, when you come in, you have beams right on the foyer, or maybe a similar type of beams outside, then these are chances are you should just avoid this type of houses, especially if this is not also the only areas where the beams are located. Maybe they're everywhere in the house or in a lot of the rooms in the house. Okay, so the other consideration, other main factor that you are also going to have to look carefully at would be, of course, the kitchen. The health aspects of a house or the residents or the occupants of the house are usually dictated or largely influenced by the kitchen, or specifically uh, the positioning or the location of the stove. This is because the kitchen is where we cook our food, and food essentially directly have an impact on the health and the well-being of the residents of the property. Now, what happens if the chi in the kitchen is bad? Then the quality of health of the residents will, of course, start to deteriorate. So you want to avoid a kitchen that is located in the center of the house, as this disrupt the tai chi or the heart of the house. Okay. Now, other thing to avoid is you also want to avoid a house where the kitchen where in the kitchen the only place that they could actually place the stove is right in the center, or right on an island right in the center of the kitchen. So, or what sometimes they call an island stove. So from this picture here you can see that there is an island, and on the island is also the stove. You also want to be aware of the proximity of the kitchen, the sink, and the stove. You do not want the kitchen sink and the stove to be literally beside each other or confronting each other. Okay? So, again, as we were saying earlier about beams, if this kitchen has any beams in it, it's also a no no. Okay? So what other consideration? The third other consideration that we have to look into, as we were saying, is the bedrooms. Now, generally, irregular shaped bedrooms should be avoided in any house, as it means the qi in the room is not stable. And what happens here is it usually disrupts and results in not good type of sleep. Your sleep is disrupted. So the best kind of bedroom and any room is a room that's square shape or regular shape, no sharp angles in the room. You also do not want rooms that have sloping ceilings like this slide here that we're showing you at this time. You do not want the the bed especially to be located where the slope is or where the angle is, because it disrupts your the quality of sleep. It creates suppresses the chi, so it creates disrupted and poor quality sleep. So again, see, these are some of the features that you have to look at in terms of the three main consideration or three main factors that's important in the house. And these are just, of course, a few negative feng shui features that you should be on the lookout for when it comes to a property. There are, of course, other considerations and other features or other important factors that affect the the overall feng shui of the house. So for now, these are just some tips. It's just a short video, a short mini tutorial to get you started and what to look out for. I would like to invite you to join me in my next feng shui presentation mini tutorial. Is the feng shui of buildings and offices. Hopefully we will be able to present it to you next week. I think sometimes in July 12th. So for now, hope you have a good day, and I will see you next time. So bye bye for now.